Good afternoon, friends. Greetings from Dr. Rasik Shah, Senior Pediatric Surgeon at SRCC Children's Hospital, Haji Ali, managed by Narayana Health. Today we will discuss in short about surgical esophageal diseases in children. So we will start with tracheoesophageal fistula. So one of the commonest condition we see in newborn we call is a tracheoesophageal fistula. Now it is all these different types. The commonest being the upper pouch of the esophagus ends blindly. The lower pouch is communicating with the trachea. Now this anomaly can be detected antenatally when the child is in the womb by polyhydramnios and dilated esophagus. This patient needs early or surgery within first 1 or 2 days of life, preferably on the same day. So if the child can be delivered in the hospital where the pediatric surgeon is available, then he can give the best treatment. So at SRCC Children's Hospital, we have active perinatology department. We can deliver the child fetus over here and take care of the newborn. So this is the commonest type of tracheoesophageal fistula. Normally it is done by open surgery, but same surgery we can do today using minimal access surgery or thoracoscopic surgery. The second condition which we see in children is a congenital esophageal stenosis, where there is a stenotic area at the junction of upper 2/3 and lower 1/3 of esophagus or in the lower 1/3. Typically, they have some cartilage in it and the dilatation do not work. If we do barium swallow, this is the appearance we get it. So this is a contrast in the esophagus. You see the narrowing. The treatment for this condition is surgical. One has to resect this stricture and anastomose the esophagus proximal and distal. Typically, this again surgery was done by open method. Today we can do it laparoscopically. The third condition what we see in children is a achalasia cardia. So in achalasia cardia, there is a functional obstruction at the lower end of the esophagus because of the hypertrophy of the muscles. Now this is typically the patient will have dysphagia more for the liquids than solids. The diagnosis is arrived by doing barium swallow, then manometry and endoscopy. Once the diagnosis is made, the best results can be achieved by laparoscopic esophagomyotomy with anterior door fundoplication, and it has very good results. One more condition which we see in children is gastroesophageal reflux disease. It is also known as GERD, and it is seen even in adults, but same problem can be seen even in children. Many of neurologically impaired children also have this problem, and typically what we do is treat it conservatively initially, but those who fail the conservative management, or if they have complications of pneumonia, repeated pneumonia, failure to thrive, loss of weight, esophageal stricture at the lower end, then they need to undergo laparoscopic fundoplication. So again, this keyhole surgery with very good results. The children, those who have neurological impairment and they need gastrostomy tube feeding, then it is better to couple it with fundoplication and do gastrostomy. The long gap atresia, where we cannot perform primary end-to-end anastomosis, they end up with cervical esophagostomy and gastrostomy. Later on, we replace the esophagus using either stomach into the neck. It comes from, we mobilize the stomach and then do anastomosis in the neck or replace the esophagus using colon. All these surgeries, particularly esophageal replacement surgery, is a very complex surgery. It needs a teamwork, not only of the surgeon's team, but even we need good anesthetists and post-operative care in PICU. This child typically are kept on ventilator for 2 to 4 days, and once everything looks all right, they are weaned from the ventilator and then started feeding. So all these complex surgeries needs a teamwork, and at SRCC NH Children's Hospital, we have a good team of surgeons, anesthesiologists, post-operative care in PICU. If you have any more questions, you can get in touch with us at SRCC NH Children's Hospital. Thank you.